And now it is my pleasure to introduce our next speaker. Please welcome City Electric Company's President and your Eastern Region Vice President, Andrew Esce.
Good morning. As I was preparing for this speech, I got thinking about the people who came before me. Last year, if you remember, Jeff Van Zandt stood on this stage. He talked about his great-grandfather and how he tackled a terrorist on the steps of the Capitol, saving the day. He was a hero. The year before that, George Vorwick talked about nearly falling off a sailboat and drowning twice during a deadly storm. And before George, there was Scott O'Day, who shared his story about being struck by lightning on a beach and living to tell about it. So now it's my turn, and it's tough to pick which one of the amazing things I've done that I need to top these guys with. So, was it when I climbed Everest? I doubt it. It was good. It was good. It was good. Was it when I filled in at the mansion? No, it wasn't. There were good parties, but it wasn't that. Maybe when I won the Masters. It wasn't bad. The jacket didn't fit well, so probably not. Maybe when I was on the moon. That could be. I wasn't the first, but I was there. Maybe start a branch. Could have been lunch with Oprah. Wasn't bad. It was a great day, great hair day. Missed that hair. It could have been shark wrestling. Looks a little more like shark cuddling, but it was still dangerous, I promise you. But I think I saved the best for last, and let's just say I have not always been in the electrical industry. Good luck next year, Greg Smith, topping that. So earlier, Dan spoke about people, process, and products. And I want to take the first word, people, and I want to go into further detail, not only about the recruitment and development of our employees, but also how we transfer all the generational knowledge from those who are getting ready to retire to those who are just starting out. If our companies don't plan for this generational management, then we risk falling behind and losing to our competitors. Just for fun, I'd like everyone in the audience to raise your hand. Everyone up. So if you've been in the industry for 5 or more years, keep your hand up. If not, drop them. Still primarily the entire room. Now, if you've been in the industry over 10 years, keep them up. A few down. Start looking around at who's out here. If you've been in the industry over 20 years, still over half the room, at least. Now, if you've been in the industry over 30 years, look how many hands are still up in this room. So this is what I mean about all the generational knowledge and what we need to do about it. The definition of change is the act or instance of making or becoming different. And our workforce is changing, and it will be different, and it doesn't mean it's a negative thing. Not only will they have a positive impact, but they will be necessary to keep up with the rapid changes of technology that we're seeing. It's estimated that by 2025, 46% of the workforce, once made up of baby boomers and Gen Xers, will be millennials and Generation Z. That's just 8 years away. These two generations together are being referred to as Generation Connected. They're digital natives that grew up with the internet, mobile phones, and social networking. I was born in 1979, so I fit just in between Gen X and millennials. I consider myself younger and tech savvy. But because everything's happening so fast, I even struggled to keep up with the next generation, Generation Z. So with that said, we have a very special guest that I'm excited to bring on stage with me. He is a leading expert in Generation Zism. Please help me welcome the spokesman for the next generation, my 11-year-old son, Ryan.
I got bills, I got pay, so I'm gonna work.
Well, good morning, Ryan.
Good morning.
All right. Ryan, I see you're not exactly wearing work attire.
This guy. No one wears that anymore. No one dresses.
Oh, okay. All right. I believe you. That's why you're here. Ryan, let me ask you a couple questions that we're all dying to know to help us about your generation. Is that okay?
No problem.
All right. Ryan, if I were looking to hire you, what would you be looking for in my company?
Well, I would want fun, flexible, digital-friendly atmosphere with beanbags and free food.
Oh. All right. I think we can manage that. It's a little different. So once you're on board, what are your thoughts on training and development?
Well, I can Google anything I need to know, so training should be pretty easy.
That's valid. What about advancement within the company?
Well, I would expect your job in 2 years.
You'd probably be better at it. That's good. So I know your time is short, and we value you being here with us, but do you have any closing advice for us as an advocate for the next generation?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Okay, sorry. Okay, just remember we are eager to learn and want to make a difference. And let us know if you need your iPhone fixed, because we can do that too.
All right. Thank you, Ryan, very much.
I got bills, I gotta pay, so I'm gonna work every day.
I knew he'd steal the show. That's not fair. There's only down from here. So all joking aside, we're going to need to evolve in the way that we as employers provide learning, collaboration, and how we stay connected with our employees, which will ultimately help our companies remain smart and competitive into the future. So how are we going to do it? First, we need to understand the 4 issues about this next generation, Generation Z. 1, they're entitled, which is absolutely not their fault. They received a participation award for everything they did. They got a medal for last place. They got good grades and into honors classes because their parents called the school and complained. And they've been told every step of the way that you could be anything you want. Just want it and you'll have it. You could be and do anything. So the second thing, and the second issue, is they need instant gratification. That's the world they live in now. They don't wait for anything. They want to watch a movie or a show? Click a button. You want a cup of coffee? You don't have to wait for it to brew. Click a button. You want to go on a date? You don't need the awkward, hey. All you have to do is swipe right. Everything is instant in what they have. The third issue is they have technology addiction. It has absolutely been proven that social media has addictive components, okay? But what's very interesting, if you think about it, is every other addiction that's out there, tobacco, gambling, smoking, anything, alcohol, they have an age restriction. Social media does not. So at an early age, this generation has access to an addictive substance. But most importantly, they're now becoming dependent on social media approval and peer approval as opposed to people approval. Back when we were that age, the only people that gave us approval when they were my son's age were your parents. That's where you went for approval. Maybe a friend or a brother or a sibling. But in this case, it's all about a social mirror that they're living in at a very young age, dealing with the heavy burdens of not getting enough likes on their page. And the last is they struggle face-to-face activities, which is key to our business, and we know that. They're becoming more dependent on texting and the jokes than they are on the face-to-face. So the fourth thing is the environment. And if you look at the environment that they grow up in, which we just shared, now think of what they're thrown into when they join one of our companies or companies out there. It's a corporate environment where they're just a number. They're no longer coddled. Things often take time and slow, whether it's promotions or getting a raise or getting the next job or project done. And the last is the lack of technology and innovation within our companies. It's why it's such a hot topic, and we are technically behind the spectrum. So what can we do about it? We need to teach and develop these skills. We need to help them understand patience, which they clearly don't have. We need to create environments conducive to attract and retain the next generations. The next generation has so much talent, innovation, and creativity, and it's right in front of us. So the message to all of us is don't be caught unprepared as workplace demographics shift. Look at the generation shift as an opportunity to gain a competitive advantage and prepare your next generation leaders. As I wrap up, I would like to take a moment now to acknowledge those serving on the Eastern Regional Council. These people give generously of their time and help drive the industry forward. I would personally like to say thank you to each and every one of them for making a difference in our industry. Please hold all your applause to the end. Ken Avery, Capital Tri-State. John Kane, Wiseway Supply. Phil Sermonera, F&M Electric. Sean Healy, Colonial Electric Supply. Bradley Jarvis, J&M Electrical. Brian Carl, Lakeland Electric. Nate Labor, Green Mountain Electric Supply. Todd McDonough, Graybar. Scott O'Day, Controller Sales and Services. Greg Shadler, Shadler Yesco Distribution. Julie Safaris, Horizon Solutions. Greg Smith, Granite City Electric. Augie Sedora, Swift Electrical Supply. Bob Trolander, Independent Electric Supply. Amanda Witham, Crescent Electric Supply. William Resch Jr., Turtle and Hughes. Jeff Van Zant, Tri-State Supply. And the incoming Vice President for the Eastern Region is Greg Smith of Granite City Electric Supply. And I would also like to announce for the first time that John Kane of Wiseway Supply as our new Vice President-elect. We sincerely appreciate your willingness to step up and serve. Let's give him a round of applause. So thank you for all making the commitment to attend the Eastern Regional Conference. It's been a great experience hosting this conference here in Tampa. Next year, the Eastern Regional Conference will be in Marco Island on November 13th to the 17th. Thank you again for the opportunity to serve. It has been a privilege and an honor.